All right, guys, update 400, whatever the hell this is. I got some progress here. I had an eagle-eyed viewer that messaged me and told me I wasn't entirely screwed in my turbo drain situation. They told me there's a spot right here I can drill on the block. If you didn't see my prior videos, the original issue was the turbo's here and it needs to drain downwards, but the engine tilted sideways and it doesn't work right. So right here, the turbo would come down and I couldn't get the oil in. However, there's a 45-degree slant, kind of flat edge right here. They told me I could drill that so I could fit some sort of a fitting there. And then on the other side of this, that's where the oil will go straight back into the oil pan and in the crankcase. I'm gonna get another one of these things, but a straight version and a different thread size. This one's humongous. It's like bigger than that face. This would have been fine in the oil pan, but I'm not using this anymore because I'm gonna go with that because that's simpler. I don't have it yet, but this is probably what I'm gonna go with. It's a 1/4 MPT thread, so it's roughly a 1/2 inch hole, a little bit smaller, and it'll have a 1/2 inch fitting on the other side, a coolant barb, so it'll be a smooth bore thing, just like this one. My other issue I ran into here was trying to clean off that gasket surface. I want to clean it without marring up the surface, so theoretically this thing should help me. This is like a 3M roll-lock, some sort of a bristle disc. Let's give this a try. I've never used anything like this before. I just bought this die grinder so I can do this. So, let's try it. Here comes the sketchy part. I have the motor sideways. This way I have the oil filter hole facing downwards with gravity helping me with any chunks of stuff falling down to the ground instead of into the oil holes, the oil channels that are in there. Now, I've never used one of these things before, so let's check it out. Oh, that's really cool. It kind of flexes outwards. It's like a flower. Oh. Well, I should probably tighten that. Now that I've let it drip for a little bit, I'm gonna put it back up so I can see what's going on. All right, I think this came out pretty well. You can see all that dust over here. That's the gasket material that got sprayed all over the place. I'm gonna have to clean that up. But I think it would have went a bit easier if I used a more abrasive version. This was 120 grit. That's what the white one is. There's a green one and a yellow one, and I believe it's 50 and an 80 grit. So maybe if I progressively brought it down, this was a pretty tough gasket that was stuck on there. I'll mask off the entire cavity right here so I can do the oil pan gasket again. I will also wait till I get my fitting before I attempt to drill and tap that. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do this yet. The idea here is I'm going to turn this thing upside down again. I won't have the oil pan on and just let all the shavings fall downwards. I will also stuff some like rags, clean rags and whatnot into the hole to kind of help catch any shavings that might like go up. And that way when I pull it down, all the stuff will come out of the crankcase. I think that's the idea. Seems legit. I should have bought one of these things a long time ago because I really like how this works. Maybe finally I'll have a good use of my compressor. I bought this compressor a couple of years back. The intention was to use an air impact, but like how often do I even use that? So got this, what is this? This 60-gallon compressor, 5 horsepower thing that's just sitting around. Finally, I'm gonna put it to use because I have a lot of things I can use that die grinder on in here.
I guess save these. You're gonna want these motor mounts too, which is interesting because you got a turbo over here. You're gonna have issues.
Oh, we'll get there.
You might have to make a new one that goes around everything.
A new motor mount?
Or something.
All right, we'll see. Time to tackle the engine mount problems. So looking at this side was on the engine block. It goes right there on the exhaust side, and you can see that key-shaped mark. There's a key-shaped mark here. This mark was imprinted from the carry block, but, you know, see, same thing. That's gonna go there, and I believe that's gonna be a problem. I believe, I'm not sure yet. Pretty sure this is how it goes. That looks a bit tight for a turbo. Let's see. All right, I had to loosen the engine mount a little bit so I can wedge the turbo back in here. Turbo's not bolted down or anything, it's just kind of hanging out in here. It looks viable. There's definitely some gap over there. Maybe I need to put some spacers and I'll have to modify the subframe, the cross member thing that this mounts to. Maybe I even have this mounted on backwards and I don't have it right because I can't tell because this is upside down and there's no oil pan on it. However, anyways, I know this side is down, the exhaust side is down, and I know the intake side is up. So this looks right to me, plus the little keyway thing kind of makes sense. If I look at that, yeah, that's exactly the same. I don't see why it would be different. Did the compressor side, the cold side of the turbo, always touch the exhaust manifold heat shield? I don't know, because this doesn't seem right. But I didn't touch any of that stuff, so I guess it is right. This is the intake side of the Carry's engine mount. I'm gonna have to look for anything with 3 holes because the pad would go here. 3 holes, obviously it looks like it lines up right there, and it's gonna go there. So this looks correct because the oil pan tilts that way. This part might be okay. Now that I've cleaned the oil filter nipple, it's time for me to put this back in here. I'll leave it for now in case I find out I gotta put sealant on that. I don't think I do. Should be all right. Since that was a short little thing, I'm gonna come over here and take a look at the progress of the pillar pods. This one doesn't have adhesive on it, so that's to be expected. This one has the partial adhesive. That's not bad, actually. And then this one has the double. Oh man, that's way better. Okay. Oh, well, this isn't attached. But hold on, the whole thing. This one worked pretty good. So I'm gonna take these 2 off and attach them just like this one. Only problem is I'm out of this stuff and I gotta buy more. I forget where I got this thicker stuff. I keep finding this thinner stuff that I have a bunch of. Progress has been pretty slow. I've been busy with the kid and work stuff, and you know, all that stuff always gets in the way of your little fun things. But surely but slowly, this thing will get completed. So if you're not subscribed already and you're trying to follow along on this, subscribe, hit the notify button, then you'll get notified every time I post a video of something. And hopefully it's one of these, right? If that's what you're following. I love hearing from you guys, especially if you have awesome tips for me, such as the oil drain situation I had there. But if you want to talk about K-trucks, K-cars, it's kind of hiding behind a post. But anything like that, send me a message. Leave a comment below. Something. I do typically release a video once a week on Sunday. I mean, sometimes I slip something small in on like somewhere in the middle of the week. But since this is chugging around really slowly and I don't really have much going on right now, I'm just waiting for stuff to happen. Still working on the trunk hinge. Within a few weeks or so, I should have a prototype to kind of show how the quick disconnect should work. If I don't have anything this coming week or so, I'll end up kind of reusing some old footage from a long time ago when I did shenanigans on this motorcycle where we went off-road. We learned how to ride off-road on giant whales of a R1200 GS adventure, or just regular GS. I went with some friends, we went in the trees, and Mud, our arch nemesis. We were all like beached whales just stuck in the trails here and there, always falling over. The real cool thing is actually, you know, after maybe our 3rd or 4th time, we got more comfortable at it, and we definitely did a lot better. And of course, a lot of hilarious fails along the way. Oh, also, on my way out, I just noticed I had this stuff. I recently bought a bunch of R12 refrigerant. It's pretty cool that this stuff is still just kind of out there in the market, like the used market. I mean, it's unused, but it's just people have this stuff in their garage. So I bought 6 cans of it. That's plenty. My car needs 500 grams. This is 340 grams, so it's like a can and a partial. That way I could try to fix my AC in my Suzuki Cara. AC is very important. It helps remove the humidity. With a ceramic tint, it helped with a lot of the heat issues, but you still got to get rid of the humidity.